Hello and welcome to the session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we would look at the three variable sampling method to estimate a misstatement. All of these methods use some sort of a theory of the normal distribution that we covered in the prior session, but they project the results differently. We're going to be using mean per unit estimation, ratio estimation, difference estimation. I will be using the same example to illustrate all three methods. Now keep in mind those are computational method based on statistical theories. So just to give you an idea about how an estimation, remember at the end of the day, performing an estimation to come up with some sort of a conclusion, but at least we are relying on some sort of a statistical theory. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. Most students and CPA candidates struggle not because audit is too hard, but because it's taught fast and the logic behind the procedure isn't explained clearly, and everything feels disconnected. At Farhat Lectures, we break audit down step by step. We explain the why behind the standards, the logic behind the assertions, risks, procedures, evidence, so the whole process finally clicks. When the concepts connect, audit becomes clear and manageable. You stop memorizing and start understanding. Ready for auditing to make sense? Start your free trial at farhatlectures.com. To illustrate the variable sampling method, we will be using an example that deals with account receivable. We have a population of 1,000 accounts. The book population is 600,000. It means the company is claiming those account receivable altogether are worth 600,000. We selected 50 accounts to audit because we cannot audit everything. Therefore, if we selected 50 accounts to audit, the book value of the sample should be 30,000. Why 30,000? Because on average, each account is worth 600, and we selected 50 accounts times 600 will give us a book value of 300,000. Now, what did we do as auditors? We are going to audit those accounts. We audited those accounts, and what we find out is the true value, not the book value, the true value is 28,000. Then what we do is we compute an average audited value per sample, because the book value per sample was 600. What we find out, the average audited value per sample is 560. Well, we cannot be 100% sure. We are going to say we're going to use one standard error of $5. So it could be plus or minus $5. So this is the data that we are giving. Now let's see how we would use this information in mean per unit estimation. So how do we start this? Well, because we're not going to tell the client your number is incorrect. We have to kind of compute mean per estimation and take it from there. So the estimated total population value, we're going to take this 560 and scale it up, project it to the whole population first. So the estimated true value. So it's not a true value, it's an estimated true value based on the audited sample. We'll take the average audited value per unit, which happens to be 560, multiplied by the number of population, which we know that's correct, which is how much? 1,000 account receivable. So the estimated true value is 560. Now, remember we have a standard error of $5, but here's what we're looking at. If we're looking at this graph, the 560 is right here. We think this is our average, 560, the average per unit based on the sample. But we cannot say that. We have to use the standard error because we sampled. So it could be, each account could be plus or $5 more or less. And we're talking one standard error, and we want to be 68% confident. Therefore, if we have 1,000 unit times $5, each account is misstated by plus or minus 5,000. It means we're going to go 560 plus or minus 5,000. So the lower bound and the upper bound will be 560 minus 5. So the lower bound will be right here, 555, and the upper bound is 565. What are we saying? What we are saying is this. We audited those 50 account receivable, and what we find out, on average, each account is 560, not 600. If we take this number and we project it, scale it to the population, the population should be, we are 68% confident, it's 555, the lower bound, 565 is the upper bound. Now, the green area is our safe area. As long as the client numbers fall with this green area, we should be in good shape. So at 68%, it doesn't fall within this area. Let's try if you want to be 99% confident. 99, no, I'm sorry, not 99, 95% confidence, which is 2 standard error. So 2 times the 5, the standard error will give us $10 per unit plus or minus. So if we have 1,000 account or 1,000 unit times $10, that's going to give us plus or minus 10,000 from our average. So 560 plus or minus 10,000 will give us a lower bound of 550. So the lower bound right here is 550, and the upper bound, we're going to say the upper bound is right here, 570. Now, let's look from the client. What did the client claim? The client is claiming they have a receivable, a book value of 600,000. Now the green is the safe area. Does the 600 fall within the green area? No, the 600 falls someplace right here in the red zone. Well, it's not likely that the balance is, with a 95% confidence, not likely the balance is likely fairly presented. What does that mean? It means we need to do more work. Based on the mean per unit, the 600,000 is incorrect. We either need to do more work, make an adjustment, but this is all what we can say using the mean per unit, and this is how we compute mean per unit estimation. Now let's take a look at the next method, which is the ratio estimation. What's a ratio? Ratio is ratio x over y. Compute the ratio of the audited to book value. So we're going to look at the audited amount divided by the book value. The audited amount is 28,000. The book value is 30,000. Well, the ratio of audit to book value is 93.3. It means our account is overstated by 7%. We're going to go ahead and apply that ratio to the entire population. The entire book population is 600,000 multiplied by 93.33. The estimated true value, remember, as 560. Well, what does that mean? The audit results suggest that on average receivable are overstated by approximately 7%. So the true population value is approximately 560,000. Close to the prior method. Close. The prior method, we said it depending on how confident we want to be. If we want to be 95% confident, the upper bound was 560. But also the average takes you to 540 on the lower end. We could also use difference estimation, which is find the total difference in the sample. The sample that we sampled, the 30,000 book value, we find out it's worth 28. We found $2,000 of difference. What do we do with this $2,000? We are going to spread this error over the items selected. We selected 50 items. Therefore, on average, each item is overstated by $40. And guess what? We're going to take this $40 and project it toward the whole population. How many units do we have? We have 1,000 units times 40 equal to 40,000. Well, we're going to adjust now the book value, reduce it by, you guessed it, 40,000. Well, the estimated true value is 560. This is the method that we used. This method also estimates that the population is overstated by 40,000. They don't have to be the same. They happen to be the same, yielding a true value about 560. Remember, both of them are estimate in the first place, matching the ratio estimation result and matching the 95% confidence upper bound, if you want to say that. Now, why SE, the standard error, is only used in the mean per unit? Well, because that method is based on the average audited value per unit. Because you are estimating the population using a mean. You must measure how much mean can vary, because the mean can vary. So the standard error tells us how uncertain the sample average is. Therefore, the SE is required. For the ratio estimation, we rely on the ratio, not on the sample average mean. Confidence depends on the stability of that ratio, not the mean. We're not, because SE deals with the mean. Difference estimation, what we did is we took this method, projects the average misstatement, which happens to be for us 40,000, not the average audited value. What does that mean? It means uncertainty comes from the variation in the misstatement, not from the SE of the mean. Therefore, the SE is not used. So this way you know why we did not projected an upper and lower bound. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. Which estimation method uses the average misstatement per item to project the total misstatement in the population? Is it ratio estimation, difference estimation, mean per unit, or stratified estimation? Well, the best thing to do when you have a multiple choice is eliminate the easy answers out. Well, I hope you know that stratified estimation, there's no such a thing. Therefore, we can take D out. The other three estimations are ratio, difference, and mean per unit estimation. Well, at least we eliminated one answer choice immediately. Can we eliminate another answer choice? I would say the easy one, no easy, we could eliminate the ratio. Why? Because the ratio uses proportion, not the dollar average. Average misstatement is an average. Ratio is a ratio, X over Y. Therefore, we could take out A. Now we're down to 50-50. Is it difference estimation or is it mean per unit? Well, let's think about difference estimation. How do we compute the difference estimation? Well, what we do is we take the difference between the audited and the book value and spread the average dollar misstatement across the population. Hold on a second. I just explained what's in the question. So it takes the average misstatement to project it. The average misstatement is the difference between the book and the audited value. The audited value and the book value. We'll take the difference, find the average misstatement, then project it. That's the difference estimation. I would say so far B is a good answer choice. Let's make sure C is not a good answer choice. C is the mean per unit estimation. Here we're looking, you have to be careful. We're using the average audited value per item, not misstatement. Per item, mean per unit, it's per item, not the misstatement. We're not looking at the misstatement. Here they're asking us average misstatement per item. So therefore, C is out, and as we expected, B is the correct answer. Now, in Farhat lectures, you could always ask the AI to explain the topic for you, explain the correct and incorrect answer, and ask AI to generate a new multiple choice that's similar to this one that will test your understanding of difference estimation, mean per unit estimation, ratio estimation. And if you don't know what's stratified estimation, ask AI what's a stratified estimation. What should you do? Whether you are an accounting student or a CPA exam candidate, invest in yourself. And the best investment you can make is go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional resources, lectures, podcast lessons, notes, multiple choice questions, AI CPA questions. Invest in yourself, stay safe, and God bless.